Very good evening to one and all. Good evening, children. So, welcome to the e-learning class. Today, we are going to discuss about intermediate first year economics. Intermediate first year economics, children, fourth chapter, production analysis. And in the first, now today, our topic is children related to the factors of production and the characteristics of factors of production. In this lesson, overall, there are 2 to 3 important topics are there that only I'll cover, children. That is factors of production, law of variable proportions, law of returns to scale. So let us discuss, children, today about the factors of production. First, what do you mean by production? What do you mean by production? So production, children, something to produce something by using some raw materials, that we call as production. Generally, we call this only. In economics, we find that production is nothing but used for the creation of a good. Production is nothing but used for the creation of good. In economics term, we say that production is nothing but the process of transformation. Production is nothing but the process of transformation of inputs into outputs. Inputs means raw materials, children. Whatever the raw materials that we use it, when we use that raw materials, by the help of the production function, by the help of the production process, children, we change into an output. So that is, it is called as, children, the process of transform, means transfer of inputs into outputs, called as production. Another definition, if you find that what is production, it means as the creation of utilities. Creation of utilities. What are the things that we use, children? The goods and services, children, okay, to satisfy the human wants. That production of those goods and services is called as, children, production. That was what is production. Production is nothing but, children, it is used for the creation of utilities. Production is nothing but, children, where we find that transformation of inputs into the outputs. So, in this production process, children, when we want to produce something, it has to pass through various stages of production. Various stages of production. Directly, just by this way, we cannot produce it. So various stages of production are there. And to that various stages of production, children, there are various factors of productions are there, children. Various factors of production. So the various factors of production, maybe it is in the form of natural or in the form of man-made. So today we are going to discuss, children, about the various factors of production that are helpful, children, for the production process. Children, this topic is very important one. If you won't understand this 4 factors of production, it is very difficult to understand the other laws depends on this 4 factors of production, like law of variable proportions, law of returns to scale. And in the further lessons also, these 4 factors of production are playing a very important role. These 4 factors of production already you learned in your 10th class also in social. Okay, so let us discuss what are these 4 factors of production and the characteristics of 4 factors of production. So what are those 4 factors of production? There are 4 factors of production are there: land, labor, capital and organization. Land, labor, capital and organization. Let us discuss one by one all these factors of production. So there are 4 factors of production are there: land, labor, capital and organization. Let us discuss one by one all the 4 factors of production. It is mentioned that if one of the factor is absent, the other 3 factors are unable to give any production, children. Compulsory, if you want to produce anything, we want 4 factors of production. Let us discuss first about land. Okay, we discuss first about the land. So children, let us first discuss about the land. What do you mean by land? It's a general question that every one of you know very well. Land. When we say about the land, we every time show about the earth surfaces. We show the soil, we show the everything. Land. Land means, children, it is a free gift of nature. It's very important one. For 2 marks, you may get this question, children. So land is a free gift of nature. All those things that we get it, children, from this nature comes under the land, features of land. Like for example, soil is a land, forest is a land, Air is a land, water is a land, character features of land, climate is a land, fuel is a land, mineral is a land. That means all those gifts that we get children from the nature called as land. Okay. Let us discuss about the characteristics of the land. The characteristics of the land, children. Land is a free gift of nature. The first characteristic what I said to you, that it is a free gift of nature. First one. Second one, the supply of land is fixed. Do you find that with the increase in population, the size of the land it increased? No. The supply of the land from the nature, it is fixed. It won't increase or decrease, children. Okay. Then, land is immovable. Can you take the land along with you in a bag and move to one of the other places? No. That means land is immovable. It won't move, children. Okay. Then, land provides infinite variation of degree of fertility. As a people of what you call related to the agriculture, all of you know very well, children, that land has different fertility features. Each and every area is not barren and each and every land is not fertile. So land is having sometimes more fertile, less fertile or average fertile, sometimes completely barren, children. So land differs in fertility. Some land gives more production, some land gives less production, children. Then land cannot produce anything by its own. Can you find that without the human being, land will produce anything, children? Can you guess it that land produce itself all the crops without the help of human beings? No, children. Compulsory land requires the efforts of human beings, children, to produce anything. So this is called as the characteristic features of land. So what is land? Land is a free gift of nature. Whatever we get in the nature, children, everything comes under the land. So what are the characteristic features of land? Land is a free gift of nature. Land is immovable. Then land supply of land is fixed. Land provides the variation of degree of fertility and land cannot produce itself. So I hope it is clear, children, for all the laws what we are going to learn, children, in the coming lessons. For everything, these 4 factors of production is playing a very important role. So you have to understand it well. Next one. After the land, we have labor. So now the question comes, what do you mean by labor? Generally, if anyone asks you, what is labor? What is your answer, children? Yes. What is your answer? Your answer. Whenever we hear the words, whenever we hear this word labor, children, automatically we say that labor means that person who is working in the construction area. Labor is a person who is carrying the heavy weight in his or her bag and working. So all the hard working people, that means those who are working as a construction workers or agricultural field laborers, all we call as labor. No, children. Labor means what? Labor means any person who do the hard work, either utilize his physical power or utilize his mental power. All those people, those who utilize their physical or mental power, children, for the sake of money, to that person we call as labor. That means as a doctor as a labor, doctor we can call as a labor, engineer we can call as a labor, teacher we can call as a labor, scientist we can call as a labor, because these are the people, those who are using either their mental ability or their physical ability to do some work for the sake of money. I hope it is clear what is labor. So let us discuss, children, about labor. So our topic is about labor. So what is a labor, children? So labor is nothing but a person, any person, means mental or the physical exertion. Mental or the physical exertion directed to produce goods and services for getting income. So it means mental or physical. The person who do this work, exertion. For the sake of income, for the sake of money. For the sake of money, we call this person as the labor, the mental or physical exertion. Okay, mental or physical exertion, we call that one as a labor. Then, children, mental or physical. So here we have to discuss, children, the different characteristics of a labor. Can you guess, children, what characteristics may come for the labor? Characteristics of labor. So, what are the characteristics? The person, anyone who use their either mental exertion or who use their physical exertion. That means anyone who use the physic or the mental children, mental the knowledge, or this power or this power children for the sake of money, that person we call as labor. That means everyone in the society are laborers. What are the characteristics, features? Children, why I'm explaining all this general topic to you? Because this is very important for 2 marks question, children. So what are the characteristics of labor? Labor is inseparable from the laborer. Can you separate a labor from his hard work? No. No one can separate, children, a person from his hard work. Okay, so we can say that a labor is inseparable, means not separate. We cannot separate a person from his hard work. Okay, that is the first one. Labor is perishable, highly perishable. It means labor, the person who do the hard work get tired also. Can we find that anyone who is working 24 hours continuously without taking any rest? No, children. You also find in your village a person in the morning time how fresh he moves to the work from his home, children. But the night time, but the evening time, a person comes with complete tiredness, laziness, and unable to walk properly also. What it shows? It shows that a person, the hard work is perishable. It changes, children, according to time, according to the hard work. Even you can find when a person is young and energetic, he can do a work for a long time comparing to the person who becomes very old. That means, yes, labor is perishable. It spoil, it finish after some time. Next one, labor has less mobility. Can you find that laborers are moving throughout the day, from one village to other village, from one city to other city, from one district to other district? No, children. Laborers just they move to a few kilometers of the area just to earn income. They have less mobility, means less movements from one place to the other place. Daily they are not moving district to district, children. Just from their workplace to the home and home to workplace. Next one. Labor has weak bargaining power. Yes, you find this one. Labor, because as the population is going on increasing, what we find, the number of laborers are increasing in the society. When number of laborers are increasing, number of people, those who want to do the work as a labor, those who want to do the work are increasing. At that time, we cannot find that a person can stand in only one thing, that no, my amount for the work is this much. So labor is having very weak bargaining power. That means he cannot be very strong to his amount. According to the situation, he either decreased or increased the amount. Next one, labor power differs from labor to labor. You have to accept that one person, everyone are different from one person to other person. Some people are skilled, some people are unskilled. That means labor differ from one person to the other person. There are differences in the work. Those who are good, hardworking, educated, they are skilled persons like doctors, scientists, and they are earning some lakhs per month. Those who are unskilled, they are earning just thousands or hundreds, children. What it shows that labor power differs from one person to the other person. So based on this only, what happened, children, economies they divided, that many people they divided the division of labor. Division of labor means when you go to a factory, children, when you go to a factory, what you find, the people who are educated and who can have the technical knowledge, they maintain a high standard, they maintain a high position in an industry or in an office comparing to the attender or watchman of that office. What it shows, the person who's having this power is in the high position, and the person who's not having this power but having this power, he is in the less position. Okay, in the same case we can find like number of things, we can find this type of examples we can take your children from differ from one person to the other person. So what we can say, that division of labor is made in the society to get good results, to get good products, children, to get good profits, children. So those who are able, they are doing the hard work, they are using this knowledge, they are using this power and earning income. Those who are not having this knowledge but having physical knowledge, that means physical energy, more physical energy, they are doing all those hard works related to it and they are also earning. So this division of labors is done, children, in the society. So this is, children, the second factor of production called as labor. After the labor, we are having the third factor of production is capital. Children, if you remembered well, this word capital, land labor capital organization, well you learned children in your 10th class, in your social only. So capital. What is capital? Children, the question is actually what do we mean by capital? So the capital, it means children the part of the present wealth of an individual. Capital means part of a present wealth of an individual. So part of a wealth. Part of a wealth of an individual. This wealth, children, he used for the production purposes. This wealth he is used for the production purposes. In which way, children, he used? He used this wealth either to purchase machinery. Either to purchase machinery. This wealth he used either for hiring the buildings. This wealth he is used, children, for purchasing any inputs. So capital we can also call as produced means of production. It is also called as produced means of production. So by the help of capital, we can improve, we can extend our business a lot. Okay, so after learning about this capital, let us discuss about some types of the capital. Okay, so let us discuss about the types of the capital. So the types of the capital, children, the first type of the capital, children, the first type is the real capital and human capital. The first capital is real capital and human capital. So what do we mean by real capital and human capital? Okay, so in this words only it is mentioned, children, the meaning. The meaning is hidden in this one. So the real capital, it refers to all the physical goods. Real capital, it means it refers to all physical goods. It refers to all physical goods. Physical goods like buildings. Building is a real capital. Okay, children. Human capital, it refers to all the hard work, the skill of a labor. Human capital, it means, children, the skill of a labor. So that it is called as, children, as the real capital and human capital. Children, this is the first difference of first type of capital. So what is the first type? Real capital and human capital. What is real capital? Real capital, it means all those physical goods, like for example buildings, like for example machineries, like for example plants, comes under, children, real capital. Human means it is related to human, children. So what is the wealth of a human being? His hard work. And his hard work depends on his skill, his knowledge, his training. If he is an educated person, he uses that education to get good job. If he is an uneducated person, he uses his physical energy to do the job. So this is the first type of capital, that is real capital and human capital. After the real capital and human capital, the second capital, children, that is there for this, it is in the form of individual capital and social capital. The second capital is individual capital and social capital. Individual capital and social capital. What is individual capital and what is social capital? Let us discuss. So just by the name itself is indicating what is an individual capital. So individual capital is nothing but, children, we can say as personal property. We can say this one as a personal property. Individual capital. Social capital means that belongs to society. Belongs to society. So this is the second type of capital, children. Individual capital and the social capital. Next one is fixed capital and third one is fixed capital and variable capital. Children, this is important for you now for the loss. Fixed capital and variable capital. Fixed capital means the capital that is fixed in nature. That is fixed in nature. That means expenditure incurred on machines. It is nothing but expenditure on machines. Only once we purchase, children, machines. Again and again we are not purchasing machines. Only once we construct building for industry or factory, or we hire the buildings that are fixed in nature. That is not going to change. What are variable? That change according to situation, like labor. Labor capital, labor comes under the variable capital. Raw materials comes under the variable capital. What does it mean? The thing that change again and again called as variable. The things only once we purchase but it is not changing, that is called as fixed capital. So these are second and third type of capital. After this second and third type of capital, the fourth type of capital, children, it is tangible and intangible capital. The fourth type is tangible and intangible types of capital. What is tangible and what is intangible? So the tangible type of capital, children, this is a capital that we can perceived by senses. That we can get this one only by our sense. Oh, we are having the 6 senses now, children. So that we can perceived by our senses, children. That is, what is this from our senses? Like for example, from the nose, from the ears, from the other different senses. Whereas, what is intangible capital, children? So it is in the form of the various what you call the benefits and rights. This is in the form of rights. What are the rights? It is in the form of rights like patent. Patent means what, children? For example, if I produce this chalk piece, I am the first person who produced this chalk piece. So I get this right, patent right. So those who want to manufacture, they have to pay me some percentage of profit, because I invented this chalk piece. The people, those who invent that, they get the patent right. So this is called as intangible. This is called as tangible. So children, these are all comes under the capital. Children, discuss about the fourth factor of production, that is organization. Organization is also called as enterprise. Enterprise. What is an organization or organizer? Organizer. A person who organizes land, labor, capital. A person who organizes all the factors of production called as organizer. Children, land is there. Suppose if you want to go for an agriculture, you want to do the agriculture. What do? You hire a land. Then alone land you cannot do anything. To work on that land, you are in need of labor. Then labor also itself is not enough till you use any inputs, machineries. So you have to take machineries. Either from your own money or you take it from the on interest from the bank, children. And then, children, you have to hire number of people, those who can do the work in the industry and in the market. Okay, so the person who managed or who organized all the production activities, we call that one as entrepreneur. Entrepreneur also we say. Okay, so what this person he do? He mobilize all the 4 factors of production. This is a person who bears risk, because it is not sure that every business is a profit. So he has to bear the risk to start the business. He has be ready to start to face the difficulties, losses, and he enjoys the profit. So this is called as, children, all the 4 factors of production, without which our production is impossible. The 5th factor of production, very simple one, is technology. Without technology, nowadays it is very difficult to produce anything. So children, these are all called as the production, factors of production. Children, this is very important one for your all the laws. So throughout this, what we understand, land, labor, capital, organization, 4 are playing a very important role for the production purposes. Now the next one, the next topic for us, children, it is production function and the law of variable proportion. Very important 10 marks question we are going to discuss. But before that, you go through, children, all these 4 factors of production, read the textbook, okay, follow the material. Okay, very soon I'll come with the next class with all the laws, children. By the time, thank you one and all. Thank you, children.